some leftists in Canada apparently want to ban X, which is unfortunately come to be expected. There's a lot of crazy leftists in Canada. I'm sure I do not have to tell you. We'll take a look at some of the commentary around that here and see if we can figure out kind of what is happening. So this account, Jason Pugh, says, so X in Canada is trending. This person has 13K followers. Also, this abomination of a flag as his display picture there. Yeah, I'm not even really making an anti-LGBT comment there. I just think if you're going to change the flag, you're pretty much a total idiot. So X in Canada is trending. Right-wing accounts are freaking out. It just shows they need this unregulated propaganda channel and are terrified of losing it. X needs to be regulated and bots need to be banned. Fake speech isn't free speech. Hashtag ban X in Canada. So this guy also pays for X, which is quite interesting that he says hashtag ban X in Canada while he literally admits it here. Paid Musk so I can post longer vids. I mean, I'm sure this guy also probably likes the fact that he's somewhat popular on X. So, yeah, this guy blocked me. That's not surprising because I responded to it. I didn't know he did, but I responded to some of his posts basically calling him a complete idiot, which I definitely stand by. Why haven't you banned bots? Brainwash. So anyway, we'll go back to look at some other comments. Maybe I'll try to find if I can see my reply here. Because I did reply to this guy pretty aggressively, I remember. Maybe I'll try to see if I can find it here. Oh, did that not work? What the heck? Okay, we'll continue. Maybe I won't. I'll just do this, actually. I don't have my chat lined up. Maybe I'll do that as well. Just bear with me here. If you're in the chat, hello, good morning to you. How's everything going? I'm going to get the live chat up and running here. You can see it on screen. But yeah, good morning, everybody. Monday morning in Canada, January 12. Probably could have done this before, but it's okay. We're doing it now. Let's go pop out chat. Okay, yeah, and you'll be able to chat now. It'll show up there in the corner. There we go. If you want to say hello. And I'm going to also, why is this not? Oh, yeah. Cool. Okay, we've got the live chat there now. I'm going to go to see my replies to that guy. Because those people that post stuff like that, I honestly think they want you in prison. They want people like us, just people that like free speech. They'd be totally okay with sending you to prison over your statement. I'll remove this image here. Okay, so I replied to this guy who commented that. So X in Canada is trending. That comment there said, so you want Elon Musk to have the personal data, but nobody else? On top of being a tyrannical bad person, you're also ideologically inconsistent and clearly low IQ. This is in response to something else. He said, I think you should have to register under your real name /info, but be able to post under whatever handle you want, just as long as there's an actual verified human behind it. Who cares about the name? Some people want to be anonymous for safety reasons. So basically this is saying Elon Musk gets your data, but nobody else. Part of me kind of thinks that if everyone actually had to use their real name on X, I certainly don't think this should be a thing that the government advocates for, but I think it would be better. There are too many anonymous accounts, I think, but I don't think that should be mandated by the government. I think that should just become a social norm, kind of. So basically, people like this are actively traitors to Canada. I said these people would lock you in prison and not think twice. Normie Canadians need to wake up and start complaining way more often. I definitely think that is true. We'll take a look at some of the other commentary around this. So this person here, Linda Steele, says she's replying to this Bricks News account. Just in, UK, Canada, and Australia consider coordinated plan to ban X. Then she says, honestly, if a ban would force a return to decency and oversight, I'm good with that. That is unbelievable. Like, what if the ban comes in place and suddenly culture shifts and all of a sudden your stupid environmentalism or your stupid DEI crap is considered harmful and you get banned? These people are obviously so insane. They're only in favor of a ban because they think they'll be on the right side of that and that their stupid leftism will be fine. And here's another person, apparently, Brittany, but she's taking a screenshot here. Rachel Gilmore replying to, contrary to media reports, Canada is not considering a ban of X. And she replies, why not? I mean, again, the insanity about this is they think they're going to be on the right side of this. What if culture changes, which it slowly is definitely going more right, whether or not Canada, the Canadian right-wing government has been winning, it's still moving more right. For now, we will see how far it goes. I know it's a pendulum. It could swing back at any moment, really, but I do think that, again, these people only are saying this because they think their positions are protected. That does not make, like, say, for example, you have a position that you want drag queens to read children books. Who's to say that the next government that comes in isn't going to consider that something that needs to be scrutinized, needs to be taken off the internet, potentially even prosecuted? They only think their positions are safe right now. If someone says, like in UK, you can just say basically a slur, I think, about an immigrant, and then the police will show up at your door, things like that. Maybe it's more aggressive than that, but I don't know. The UK has insane laws. The Pleb Reporter here says, CEO of Canada's largest tech company, Toby Lutke, blasts Mark Carney for wanting to ban X in Canada. He says any politician who wants to ban X needs to resign, although there is some confusion here because I think Toby Lutke did actually say this. I don't know, maybe not. This is a great honeypot. Any government official who suggests banning X is not a public servant and needs to resign. Let's see what happens. So Toby Lutke replies to this, I did no such thing. I just said what should happen if they would pursue that line, which they clearly haven't done yet. So maybe Toby Lutke is not agreeing with the first part of Pleb's statement here. CEO of Canada's largest tech company, blast Mark Carney for wanting to ban X in Canada. That could certainly be true that Toby Lutke opposes that part, because I think that's a real post from Toby here, but he obviously did not blast Mark Carney because so far in Canada, I don't think there's been any actual support at the government level for banning X. But, yeah, I'll take a look. This guy, actually, I've met this guy before. His video here, Starmer humiliated on world stage. This guy's from UK. As Canada rejects his X ban push.
So this morning we went through this story as stated that he called them up and, you know, he wanted to try and ban the social media platform. However, this is what we got from the Telegraph just a couple of hours ago. And what's being said is that X ban is not being considered by Ottawa after Grok generates explicit photos of women and children. Starmer fails to get Canada's backing over AI row. And then, of course, you can see a lot of people celebrating this fact. Canadian government rejects KISS.
That's incredible. Could you imagine if we ban X? apparently UK is considering that route right now. Over those people in the comment section saying, hey, put this person in a bikini, Grok. Put this person in a bikini. I'm pretty sure it all is stemming from that, which I think that's pretty scumbag behavior, but you obviously shouldn't ban X over that.
Starmer. Despite taking a call with Keir Starmer on the matter yesterday, the Canadian government has said we want nothing to do with banning X. Keir Starmer
That's actually good news. Yeah, I mean, Carney, I wonder what would happen if Trudeau was in power right now, because Trudeau seemed to definitely want to go along with crap like this. Like, remember him during the lockdowns calling people extremists, that quote, Trudeau saying, oh, what do we do with them? Something I'm paraphrasing. What should we do with them? These extremists that don't want to get vaccinated and stuff like that. Even Bill Maher in America called out Trudeau. Hey, Rob, watching from Ottawa. Hi. Hello, Rob. How are you doing? Good morning to you. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I'm going to continue with this video here a little bit, but thankfully it looks like Canada is not on board with banning X. Again, I don't like Carney, but I do think you got to give him a little credit that he's better than Trudeau. I know that's not a high bar to clear, but I do wonder in a different world if Trudeau was still the prime minister right now, which he wouldn't be because he would have clearly lost that election. But I mean, I guess technically he could have been if there was no election called, because his I think the election would be this year, 2025, if there wasn't an early election there. No, we're past 2025. No, Trudeau would be done. Never mind. I'm losing it here. I think either way, Trudeau would not be, because the federal election was 2021 during COVID. Yeah, so Trudeau, I think, would be gone no matter what. But anyway, I think Carney is 10% better than Trudeau. What do you think? Let me know in the comments if you agree with that or disagree.
tried to encourage Canada to join him in a multi-country ban. This user has said, Keir Starmer is a loser. And I can concur with that statement. But it's all falling apart for him, really, because he thought that he probably would be able to get them on side.
Yeah, so then he's talking about the UK a little bit more, but we'll go see if we go to ban X in Canada. Let's just see what some other people are saying on X itself. Do you think there will be a by-election? I don't know. What do you think, Rob? I don't think there will be one anytime soon. I actually asked just AI this for fun, and it said there will be an election. I think it said 2027, but I actually don't think there will be one soon, but I hope there will be. I don't know the exact political pressure that would have to happen. Maybe the Liberals would want to try to call one to get a majority, but in the polling, they're not doing great. It seems to meaning like they're doing okay, but I think if they called an election, they wouldn't feel safe that they would even win. I think if there was an election called today, there's a very good chance the Conservatives would win a minority government. So for that reason, the Liberals might not want it to happen, or they might not want to push for that. But if the Conservatives can get enough pressure, I guess the other way, like I don't know exactly what happens behind the scenes on those by-elections, but there seems to be some sort of hush-hush conversation that takes place, and the Conservatives can convince the Bloc or convince the NDP or something. Maybe we'll get one, but I would bet, if I had to bet, I would say no by-election in 2026, unfortunately. That'd be my guess. But again, that's a complete guess. What do you think, Rob? Okay, we're gonna go. I also wonder when the House, like the House of Commons in Canada, gets back together. Do you know that, Rob? Does anyone know that? When does House? Monday, January 2026. So, yeah, those are fun to at least follow. I don't know that anything really happens in those that's very interesting, but I do find those fun to watch. Yeah, UK threatens to block X over Grok's explicit deepfakes. See what other commentary we can get. this person here, Martin Peltier. I've seen this account on X. This is exactly why they want to ban X in Canada, Australia, and the UK. Let's take a look at this video. Might as well. Let's see.
And I know this because I was one of them once. They really believe that to be a progressive is to be on the moral high ground. Why? Because to be a progressive means you believe in things like the brotherhood of man. You believe in doing stuff to get rid of prejudice and war and bigotry.
Here we got another chat. I got it kind of small on my screen. Do you think the Liberals will get a majority? Not if it was called right now. I don't think so. I don't think they're doing very well in the polls. They're doing okay. They're doing a little bit better than they were. Remember back when Poilievre was going against Trudeau? The polls were so advantaged to Conservatives. Let's see the current polling landscape. Let's take a look at that. I think if there was an election right now, the Conservatives would probably win. Well, we got this here. Pulled up from 338 Canada. It actually has the federal projections, Liberal minority government. The Conservatives are right behind them, though. But if I had to, I don't know. I think the Conservatives, if they do it correctly, I think Poilievre last time in the election ran a terrible campaign. I think whatever consultant tells Poilievre and the Conservatives to try to moderate their message, I think need to be fired. If the Conservatives just stand up for their values and really criticize the Liberals strongly, I think they can win. But I think they get into trouble when they start to buy into the CBC framework. Let's not be too mean. Let's be all be friends here. I think they run into problems because the Liberals have no problem criticizing Conservatives. People online and people in general criticize Poilievre 24/7. Popular vote projection, yeah, I guess the Liberals are a little ahead, but this is just one website. This should look. This is very close. 57% Liberal, 43% Conservative. Odds of winning. That's as of yesterday. That's incredible. I actually think though, if there was an election right now, the Conservatives would win. I don't have a ton of conviction in that statement, but I think at some point the opposition party has the natural advantage, I think. The Liberals do get a bump though from Carney. I think Carney is actually a good politician, even though I don't like his policies. I think he's kind of even-handed. He doesn't get too emotional. He doesn't have all the stupid gaffes like Trudeau did. So I think going against Carney is definitely more of a challenge than Trudeau. But I mean, I don't know. Poilievre's got to figure out what to do about that. Lately, I've been happy with Poilievre, though. I think if he leaned into being very pro building the pipeline, I think that's a potential issue where you can gain some votes, because I think Carney's too wishy-washy, too in the middle, too sort of trying to appease everybody, appease the Indigenous leaders, the environmentalists. I think Poilievre has a better point of view on the pipeline, which is essentially the Prime Minister gets to say yes, no vetoes. We're going to build it. I think that's a winning message, especially with now Canada trying to diversify away from America.
And you are anti-racist, and you believe in the power of reason. And consequently, anybody who comes along and says, well, actually, you're completely wrong, and far from actually ushering in an age of reason, you are ushering an age of irrationality for these reasons. They may say to themselves, you know, I kind of thought that a bit, because I can see this evidence. And I thought,
he says, I posted, you obviously didn't watch the debate, and I posted links on this debate, and all they can do is give the laughing emoji. I posted, you obviously didn't watch the debate, and I posted links. I don't know what you mean, Rob. Sorry. I posted, you obviously didn't watch the debate. You mean the leaders debate between Polyev and Carney, or what do you mean? Keep chatting though if you want. I like the chat interactions. I'm trying to get this channel kind of going. It's obviously pretty small channel right now. This person says Canada wants to ban X because it cannot control government propaganda like it can on mainstream media. But thankfully, I don't think Canada wants to ban X. I haven't seen any like confirmation of that. I've just seen some accounts, some random leftists on Twitter that would be, I think they would for sure be okay with that. And I even think they'd be okay with right-wingers going to jail. Like, I think there are a lot of leftists in Canada that are just bad people. Trust in the Canadian Prime Minister's office has set a 15-year high of 80% under PM Mark Carney. Whether you believe that or not, I don't know. I think Mark Carney probably doesn't have a terrible disapproval rating. I think his temperament just helps. He's not really that easy to make fun of. He sounds smart. He doesn't really take shots at anybody. Like, I think he does a good job, I would say, of not, even if he disagrees with people, he doesn't try to roast them. He doesn't say, there's no moment of him, remember Hillary Clinton with the deplorables comment, or yeah, Trudeau being like, should we tolerate these people? And when Trudeau was just so mad at the truckers, there's no moment of Carney doing that. So if that does happen, I think it could change, but yes, the debate with Jagmeet, Carney, and Pierre. Pierre explained why he didn't get his top security clearance again. He had it before. I think it makes sense that Pierre does not have that. Because as I understand it, if he does get the clearance, then he's going to have to be like so careful of what he says, right, in public. And that would definitely hamper your ability to be the opposition leader. I mean, I think that's the way it goes, that if he would be scared that if he says certain things, he could be sued, right, or something, because he has the security clearance, which now he's not supposed to talk about certain topics in a certain way. Anthony Warner, even the leader of the NDP, by the way, yeah, for sure. That Tom Mulcair, I think every time I see Mulcair talk about it, he's in support of Polyev not getting the security clearance. That's such a stupid line of attack that the left uses on Polyev. Come up with something else, I think. Anthony Warner, Goldfish Eyes Gilmore, absolutely nobody cares, yeah. Rachel Gilmore, for the amount that she trolls, is unbelievable. Like, you would think, I'll go to her YouTube channel in a second, you would think because she's just constantly rage baiting on X. Like, her entire account, I would say, is rage bait. She tries to get people that obviously don't like her to engage with her stuff to boost her numbers. I think that's obviously what she does. Yeah, like, look at this. She's talking, okay, deep fake sexual abuse is violence. Then the person quotes this, Evan Solomon. Contrary to media reports, Canada is not considering a ban of X. Toby Lucky says, thank you for directly addressing this. That's the leader of Shopify. And here's Canada's tech broligarchy cheering this on. I mean, if people like Rachel Gilmore got in power, the world would just totally implode. There'd be no growth. There would be terrible economic policy. Let's see, I gotta enjoying this your post nation yet. Fusky the Husky. Yeah. Are you Canadian as well? Are you commenting from another country? Either way, all good. Yeah, Canada has massive problems. I'll get this on top chat instead of live chat. Maybe I'm missing something. Sorry, I switched. I think I missed a comment from before here. La Raza for Trump. Sure, let's give the same group of Fabian WEF agents more power to control speech. Censorship works so well during their sniffles psyop. Yeah, I agree. I'll say you're on the COVID stuff. I don't think I appreciate you saying that, but I think YouTube has let go of some of the restriction around that stuff, but yeah, post nation yet. Yeah, Canada has. At some point, a right-wing government has got to get in control in Canada. How are those CCP police stations doing? I haven't heard any bit of that story lately. The CCP police stations. I know that was a big thing a few years ago. I haven't heard anything about that lately. I don't know if you have. You can let me know. But that is crazy that there's apparently speculation that those exist. I don't know. Rachel believes that so-called innocent people in jail have more rights. Rachel believes that so-called innocent people in jail have more. Yeah, I don't know. Rachel Gilmore's politics are banana land, so I'm sure she does. Her politics, I don't think, are serious. I don't even think she, like, I don't know if she believes any of this stuff. She just kind of Googled, what's the most left-wing I can be? And how can I be left-wing hysterical person? The concept of posting Canada is not considering a ban of X as a quote of your post condemning deepfake nude images on X of women and kids, ... Yeah, so Rachel Gilmore is posting a lot about this, I guess. GTA Ontario here, nice. Right, COVID, yeah. Excuse me. The biggest problem in Canada is old stock Canadians, but we have a plan. J. Turdo. The biggest problem is old stock Canadians. I think there's just so many people that still watch CBC, CTV, Global, and they just haven't opened up the YouTube app to see another point of view. Like if you go to Global, CTV, and CBC, they don't even cover part of the news. Like every panel on those stations is just leftists and centrists. And then even there was that Canada First protest this weekend, and I haven't seen anything from those three networks covering that. They'll cover American protests, but not the Canada ones where a different point of view is being expressed. We have 3 Chinese police stations in Canada. Really? Wow. Yeah, I don't know anything about that story. I believe you though. I don't know anything about that story. That's incredible. I mean, I believe you because there's definitely a lot of documented organized crime networks that operate in Canada. It's lulls when the government calls Rachel as an expert. Yeah, I think they did. Right at those hearings, you're right. Those hearings that take place in Ottawa, she gets called like a misinformation expert or things like that, I believe. Herds was talking about average Canadians in that quote. Yeah, the quote about that they're extremists, that stuff. Yeah, Trudeau was unbelievably brutal. He can't even talk, Trudeau. When he had to talk about the economy, he would totally melt down. All Trudeau knew how to do truly was virtue signal. Gilmore heavy on the pills, mental issues, it's obvious. Every time she speaks, Zoloft Gilmore. Yeah, I don't feel bad that people criticize Gilmore because she's clearly trying to. If she's not trying to, but I do think she is. I truly believe she's trying to prod at people to get her numbers up. But am I? Oh yeah, I have Matt Walsh muted just because he shows up all the time. I actually like Matt Walsh, but I muted him on Twitter. NPR. The thing is, like, okay, so much of Rachel Gilmore's stuff, I think everyone here agrees, is rage bait. I mean, her X account does pretty good, but if we go to her YouTube channel, I don't know how much money, though, you make on X is the thing. Because all of her rage bait, it's not transferring over to YouTube. Like, this isn't a very... I mean, I'm not saying I have a bit... Well, I do actually have another YouTube channel, to be honest. I don't feel like bragging about it, but I do have a... I'll pull it up here just for fun. I have another YouTube channel that does a little bit... Well, it does a lot better than this one, actually, but... I'm not saying this to go look at it. I'm just saying this to say, like, I have maybe not credibility, but I at least have a YouTube channel that's doing decent. This is my like YouTube channel that does better. It's a lot of stuff on American politics. I used to do Canadian politics on it as well, but actually I haven't posted in a while. I'm kind of focusing on some other stuff, but yeah, this is like my quote unquote better YouTube channel, 52K. And yeah, it's a lot of like election stuff. But anyway, go back to Rachel's channel. For all the rage bait, her views aren't doing, oh, this is a little better, I guess, 5K, but it's a short video. You don't make much money on a 5K video with 3 minutes. That's 3 minutes long. 1K, 1K. If you're in the chat, by the way, please, if you could subscribe, because I'm trying to get to 1,000 here. Let's see. I got some comments here. I have Chinese friends from Shanghai. Know this. That's funny. I was in China recently, although not actual China. Like I just went through the airport in Chengdu, China, which I had not even heard of the city. And it turns out it's like a 20 million people, like population of the city is 20 mil. And I had not even heard of the place before. Like China is a massive, China is just so huge that, yeah, I was here. I was at this place, Chengdu. Just at the airport, though. Look at the population of the city. I had not even heard of it. 20 mil. That's like over twice the size of New York. Incredible. But yeah, I'm going back to the chat here. I like going live because it's fun to talk to the chat. Yes, she did call her, and she did wear her. I'm just not going to say that because maybe the YouTube won't like that. But I think you're talking about like those huge eyelashes. Yeah, I know what you mean. Rachel was fired from CTV. LOL. Was she? I didn't. I know she. Yeah, I'm sure. I heard a story about that. But was she also? Did she also work at Global or something, or was that CTV? But anyway, that's interesting. That's all she has is her enemies, or no one would watch her. But I don't, does it work? Like, I don't know the rage bait stuff. I know she has like a Twitch channel. Maybe the Twitch does a little better. I don't even want to pull up Twitch. I just, I don't really care. Like, I don't want to pocket watch her, but it's like, meaning like watch for the money stuff, but it's kind of interesting because, I mean, she brings it on herself. There's no way that I feel bad doing this because I think her entire shtick is to trigger people. If you're just an honest person making leftist content and you don't try to piss everybody off every 3 seconds, it'd be one thing. But she obviously tries to agitate people. And if she doesn't, then she just has the most confrontational personality of all time. La Raza, and then she's laughing. I think that Anthony's responding to another chat. Right now, one knows this massively populated. Right now, I think you're talking about the Chengdu. Remarkable. Yeah, don't say that. Yeah. All I know, Rachel was fired from CTV as a fact checker. Yeah, that's the story. Yeah. I did hear that during the election, which is, can you imagine her as a fact checker? In what universe? Like, that just shows how absurd the Canadian media is. That she, at one point, was hired as a fact checker. That'd be like hiring Nick Fuentes as a fact checker at CNN or something. Like, obviously, Nick Fuentes, who's very funny, has some out there positions. You think he's going to cover everything down the middle? Like, that Rachel Gilmore is probably as extreme as him. At least, like there's no way if you had a political spectrum, Rachel Gilmore is in the middle. She would be as far left, I think, as you can get. Not maybe as far left as you can get, but of people who are also popular in Canada, I would say she's as far left as you can get. But, yeah, so I think the Ban X story hopefully doesn't happen. I'm kind of encouraged that I think Canada, look at this, some guy in a bikini. I think Canada gets a huge benefit by being close to America because, like, from a geographically, Jesus, am I losing my mind? Geographically, because like, we always are going to be compared to America, and if America has all this freedom and Canada doesn't, I think it. By contrast, I think it actually helps us not go so far left. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but anyway. Okay, I think I'm gonna finish the stream a little bit, but does anyone have any suggestions in the chat about things you want to watch? If you have any YouTube videos or whatever, I'd be open to replying to something, but I think I'm gonna finish the stream here in a little bit. I'm excited to see POTUS spank Davos later in the month. Yeah, that'll be great. Is that coming up? Davos would be coming up. Yeah, it's usually in January, right? Is Trump invited? Is he going to go? Let's see here, Davos. Davos is 19th to 23rd, January 26th. That's cool. Is Trump going, I guess? We are neighbors and friends. They want to divide us by fear of the orange bad man. I totally agree, Rob. I totally agree with that. That's how I feel. And yeah, obviously I like Trump. Like my other YouTube channel here is it's clearly like a pro-Trump. That wasn't the intent when I started it, but I obviously just genuinely like Trump. So a lot of these videos end up being pro-Trump. I'll go check out CBC, I guess, actually. We'll do a little, because look, they haven't even talked about those Canada First rallies yet, which is absurd, I think. But they'll talk about everyone else. Was anyone in the chat at the Canada First rally in Toronto, or did you see any comments of that online? Keep up the good work from Laraza. Thank you for your efforts. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I will. POTUS doesn't need an invite. POTUS goes where he wants. Yeah, you're right. But you're right. He doesn't need an invite, but I wonder if you're I'm sure as the president you can just show up at Davos. That's a good point. Just like North Korea just walked in, yeah. Yeah. I have 8 brothers and they pissed I support Trump. Really? 8 brothers? Wow. Do they live in Canada or USA? No, Canada benefits so much by having America as a neighbor. Even with Trump's trolling recently, like, we are still in such a good position being protected by America. And so many Canadians take that for granted and make fun of Trump and elbows up and all that. It's so cringe. I'll take a look at this video here. We'll watch this because I think this is sort of topical, because Canada looks to diversify trade with China amid CUSMA renegotiations. I made a short post recently on this on my TikTok, and I think it did get posted to this account. I'll pull it up actually just for fun, because there are people in Canada who, are against the pipeline. I'll watch this here. Look at this here. This was the short post I made on it yesterday. How can you be elbows up and anti-pipeline? Let's be less reliant on America, but let's not actually do anything about it. I don't think there is any better example of liberal BS right now than this. Yet there are probably 10 million people in Canada with that legitimate position. Elbows up with the pipeline, the big scary pipeline is bad for the environment. Canada continues to be a joke, unfortunately. So obviously I agree with that take because that's my video, but it is incredible to me how many people in Canada are elbows up, but they make excuses about the pipeline. Oh, we need to consult with these indigenous leaders. And if they say no, then we can't do it. Or the environmental nut jobs like Guibault. And they are truly nut jobs. Those pro-environment people actually make me sick. If you want to work in the environment, go work at a private company. Don't get into government and tell everybody how to live their life. That's such an insane career path to do. Again, like if you think that climate change is going to ruin the world, go work at Tesla or go start a company or go work at a different company that has their mission as that. Canada one lives in Calgary. Nice. I used to live in Calgary. Calgary's a good city. The funny thing, I am gay, married to a turtle man. What does that mean? Oh, Turkish man. Oh, cool. That is yeah, like from like Turkish Canadian or actually from Turkey. It seems like the only pipeline on the WEF are interested in is one directly from India to Bay Street and Hortons. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, it is incredible that there's been so much immigration. Who's that been benefited by the immigration? Tim Hortons, maybe some of the banks, I guess, that can finance stuff. Uber Eats, like a lot of the immigrants that come over here too, I've seen go back to India and stuff like that because they're like, I can't afford to live here. If I work at Uber Eats or something, Tim Hortons, where's the career path? Even if I become like a manager at a Tim Hortons, how much money am I going to make if I live in this place like Toronto or Vancouver where the homes are $1 million? It's ridiculous. The wage isn't, yeah, Canada's in a terrible place economically, of course. Climate change is a farce, I agree. We needed to start on those pipelines years ago, such a waste. Totally. It's incredible that it's been, yeah, we have just shot ourselves in the foot so badly by not, there should be so many more pipelines already built right now. I agree. You can't even really have a sophisticated debate in Canada because so much of the discussion is just getting people to stop being leftist lunatics. Like, how fun is it to be like, hey, build the pipeline? No, we shouldn't. Well, we can't even talk then about energy policy if we can't even do anything. Osman is Turkish from Istanbul. We met 3 friends through. Nice. Nice. We'll take a look at this video here. This is from CBC.
Prime Minister Mark Carney will visit China next week to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping as Canada looks to diversify trade and reduce its reliance on the United States. Officials will discuss everything from trade to energy, agriculture, and security, among several other things. Now, this will be the first visit by a Canadian Prime Minister to China since 2017, and it is meant to reset ties between the two countries. In 2024, Canada implemented 100% tariffs on electric vehicles coming in from China, as well as 25% tariffs on steel. This prompted China to retaliate with 100% duties on canola oil, peas, and also 25% tariffs on pork and seafood from Canada. Former Canadian Ambassador Guy Saint-Jacques says this is a key trip for the Prime Minister. He says Ottawa wants to expand trade, but he also expects Prime Minister Carney to discuss human rights issues.
It's a very important visit that...
Well, what does that mean? You're going to go there and lecture them? Like, I don't think they care, especially what Canada says to them. Just talk about the trade stuff. Why are we going to go there and talk about human rights? Again, like, someone should say that, but that's not the place of the Prime Minister, I don't think, to do that. Maybe that's debatable, but just talk about trade. What are you going to do? Go there and say, hey, you guys are very mean to people.
Happens, in my view, in a very timely fashion.
How about Alberta build their own refinery? Yeah, I agree. But are you, yeah, I agree. And build pipelines, both, all of it. The left don't even understand that natives are being used as fronts to stop development. I know, man. And also you're right, or maybe you're a woman, sorry, but the I don't know, whatever you are, all good. Every person, the native people that they trot out on camera on CBC and stuff, it's always some crazy leftists. I'm sure some First Nations people must look at that and be like, we're not all like that. All the Indigenous people that CBC and places like that get to represent Indigenous people, they're all whack job leftists. That can't be representative of the entire group. Male, nice, yeah. I thought maybe like the name was like a Lara, like, but anyway. But that's just your little whatever. Because YouTube actually changed that recently. Your like screen name or whatever used to pop up in chat. Now it's your actual handle. I noticed they changed that recently on YouTube. And who is going with Carney on this trip? Yeah, Michael Ma. Is that true? Michael Ma is going on the trip after just floor crossing? That's so insane. In my opinion, UNDRIP is a key plank to getting people to move into 15-minute cities. It could be. I haven't looked into that too much, but the 15-minute city thing is pretty crazy. That's a great question. They're using First Nations. Yeah, the name is a joke. Play on words. Okay, I see. Yeah, Michael Ma is going to... That's so stupid. That is so amazing. I saw like a protest on Michael Ma. Imagine if you voted for Michael Ma in that riding, how pissed you'd be. There's just no excuse for that. My industry friends only watch CTV. I think there are a lot. Well, that's fine, but I think there are a lot of people that just aren't aware of all the alternate views because they only watch cable news, which that'll eventually probably end. Just as people kind of like, I think the younger generation is obviously not about that. They're way more into YouTube and live streaming than legacy cable news, but
I think it's happening, in fact, a bit faster than what I would have expected, but maybe this shows the sense of urgency that is driving Mr. Carney. And because it will be an official visit, that means that he will have quite a lot of time for discussions with Chinese leaders.
You said your Indigenous friends in Ontario only watch CBC. Yeah. Are they leftists or are they just kind of whatever, everything or what? Because yeah, every Indigenous leader I see on these stations, they're always like, we need to protect the environment. There's no way every First Nations person in Canada is just wacko leftist.
There will be a welcoming ceremony that will be presided by Premier Lee Chang. It will be followed by a tête-à-tête and an enlarged meeting involving all the delegation that comes with the Prime Minister. Probably a signing ceremony, a press conference. You will then meet with the President and, of course, the office of the...
Another thing that I noticed when I watch CBC, aside from the one thing I definitely notice, every time they have one of those panels, there's no debate. Everybody on the panel pretty much agrees with each other. That's so clown world. Another thing on CBC, I mean,
Prime Minister says that the focus...
It's so boring. This video is so boring.
Is on expanding trade and so on, but it's also an opportunity to discuss big political issues. We know the support that China is providing to Russia in Ukraine, the close links they have with North Korea, and of course the Prime Minister...
the close links with North Korea. What is Canada going to say about that? That's so stupid. The American president could have and should probably have a point of view on that because they're the global power. Why would Canada even bring that up?
Will want to call on China to maintain the status quo with regard to Taiwan. But I would say apart from the trade aspect, there's another aspect that the Prime Minister will want to address during this trip, which...
There's no way China would care about that if you told them, Like, I bet you China in the meeting just goes, okay, thank you for your point of view on what we should do with Taiwan, Canada. They must just laugh in Chinese to each other after the meeting's over. Like, oh, those idiots. You think we give a crap? Like, I'm sure they don't even want to listen to America's point of view on that, but at least they would respect it because America is so powerful. Rob says they were not left us. I see it. But they believe in the government member with these like chop shots, and they believe it's better. I think there's some autocorrect there. All good. I don't. Up into the 90s, the cartel were all over industry and manufacturing to clean up pollution. They did. Then the cartel turns around and pushes them out of the country with bad trade agreements. Up into the 90s, the cartel. La Raza, which cartel are you? Again, sorry, I don't quite know what you mean. Like the talking about Canada, I guess. Up into cartel were all over industry and manufacturing to clean up pollution. Okay, I see. Okay, that's what you're saying is the cartel. I see. They did. Then the cartel turns around and pushes them out of the country with bad trade agreements. Who do you mean they push out of the country? Like the working people, or? Yeah. Does anyone in the chat have, I'm assuming most people probably live in Canada. Does anyone have aspirations to leave Canada, to go live somewhere else? I was traveling recently. I was in Thailand and Indonesia, and it was awesome. There are some benefits to Canada. Like I think there are, like the infrastructure is just better here. I think like buildings and stuff are built better, but I would say the hospital system is a little better, even though it's terribly slow. There are good doctors here once you see them. But yeah, our manufacturing base, we used to make stuff. Yeah, exactly. True. True. And there also just used to be, yeah, well, I'll finish this video here.
Which is to reassure Canadians that he is concerned about some aspects of Chinese policy. We have learned a lot about Chinese.
We need to start the 2026 revolution. Curly's journeys. What do you think that would look like? Just protests? Who do you think should lead the revolution? Like Curly's. Do you think if Poilievre won, things would get better? Or do you think you think it should be somebody else? Because I know Poilievre has the leadership review coming up. Lately, I've seen some things from Poilievre I like, but I'm not totally sold on Poilievre, to be honest. What does the chat think? I liked him, then I didn't like him during the campaign. Lately, I've liked some of the stuff I see from Poilievre. So I do think if Poilievre can kind of get pushed in the right direction, he could be a good leader. But I think he's just got to really abandon trying to be nice to people that don't like him. And then I think it can work. Because I think he's smart, pretty well spoken. I think he's got, ideologically, I think he's actually mostly in the right place. But I'll lead it necessary. I'll lead it. Curly's. Good luck with that, Curly's.
Interference in Canadian politics during the Hogg Commission, and I think on that side.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go to
Prime Minister.
Quebec always F's everything up. Quebec is unbelievable, man. Quebec is Quebec is like, obviously it's not every Quebecois person, but They have such a good deal with Canada. They just get a bunch of equalization payment and then they just dump on Canada all the time. It's crazy how much people in Quebec complain about Canada. Or like the bloc or whatever you want to call it. It's not... I like him, but Quebec will have him over the barrel. Yeah, Quebec has so much political power too. It's very, very ridiculous. The status quo needs to go. Too much corruption in the whole mechanism. If you're not ready to give your life for what you believe, then you believe in nothing. Well, are you though, Curly's, ready to give your life? Is that what you're saying? Are you ready to? Because I have to say, it's easy to say stuff like that from an anonymous account, which I have no problem with anonymous accounts, but it's a little easier to have a bold take like that. You are? Yeah. Okay. That's good to know. I lived my life. Are you like young or old, Curly's?
So it sounds like you're telling us, Margaret, that Canada wants stability in a relationship.
So part of this video is about Michael Ma going to China. I'm going to try to find that here. This is Moose on the Loose. Does anyone here watch this guy, Moose on the Loose? Because I think we were just watching this video. Yeah, here's Michael Ma, a little bit on Michael Ma, I think.
Interfered in 2 Canadian elections, the government passed Bill C-70 to counter foreign interference, then set no deadline to enforce it. We're now told China is a new partnership, and even Mark Carney is suddenly choosing his words carefully after calling the PRC Canada's #1 security threat. Election interference, no accountability, new law, no enforcement, Beijing trip smiles and silence. Obviously, the dirty dog Mark Carney is doing some dirty deals in China. And that brings us to Stephen.
So yes, he does good work. Yeah, he does good. I think he actually is pretty knowledgeable about the cabinet and the members and stuff like that. He had a few comments recently I saw that looked like he was very involved in the nitty gritty of who was in cabinet, who were the MPs, and stuff like that. So I was pretty impressed with his knowledge there. The people need to stand together under common law. Under common. Earlies, do you support Poilievre? Let's get it in the chat. Do you like Poilievre or are you in support of, we'll just say that, Poilievre or no? Do you think Poilievre should be the leader of the country or somebody else? I'm assuming nobody here likes Carney. If you do, that's fine. You can say that, but I probably wouldn't like this channel if you do, but you think it should be Poilievre or basically somebody more right wing? I think would be the choices. I just don't know who else would replace Poilievre because I don't know that there's not really anybody else that's that prominent. I like Jamil Javani. PP for sure. Yeah. I think Poilievre's got to be the guy right now. Yes, but he's just another wing of the same bird. I thought Poilievre was a little different, and then I think he could be, but during the campaign, I thought he just went right back to, he reminded me of just a typical establishment politician during the campaign. I was very disappointed in his campaign. I thought the difference between him and Carney in the campaign was almost nothing, which sucks. The yard must be cleaned first. I know Curly's, I like the comments. He's speaking like in like poem or something. These like cryptic messages that I don't understand.
Chase. Well, who's Stephen Chase? He works at the Globe and Mail. So coming directly from the Globe and Mail, he says Liberal MP Michael Ma, who defected.
By the way, if you're in the chat, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be great. More so I care about the subscribe, just because I'm trying to get my numbers to 1,000 so I can monetize this thing.
from the Conservatives in December will be among those accompanying Mark Carney to Beijing next week, the Prime Minister's office said. Michael Ma is joining Mark Carney in China, and you can see Ambrandt posting this clip here of Tim Hodgson and Michael Ma at this event. So there's Tim Hodgson there, and this is just a few months ago. And the next clip, there's Michael Ma. This is obviously where this connection is. Tim Hodgson appears to be friends with Aaron O'Toole as well. This whole situation absolutely stinks of corruption.
It stinks of just, it's insane. Imagine if you voted for Michael Ma and you're riding, how pissed off you'd be right now. Watch Moose on the Loose. Yeah, Rob, you watch Moose on the Loose? That's cool. I think that's what you're saying.
Ma defects, and then now he's going over to China with Mark Carney. What is a
new chatter? What's up? Le Johnny Doll, what's up? Just came across your channel and subscribed. Thank you, man. Or woman. Probably a man, though, based on your name. L Johnny L Doll. I'm from Ontario, and I have become a supporter of Alberta independence and Western Canada overall. Yeah, it's the Alberta independence thing. We'll see what happens with that. That would be quite amazing. I definitely think Alberta independence right now. Let me know if you disagree with this, Johnny. I don't think it would come anywhere close to passing right now. I don't think things are bad enough in Alberta to do that. But it'd be, I mean, politically, I'd probably be in favor of it because Alberta gets totally hosed by the federal government on a regular basis. I'm actually in Saskatchewan. I've lived, though, in Toronto and Alberta. I recently lived in Calgary, but I'm now in Saskatchewan, which is a good place. There's not much to do, but it is people are nice here. Just came across your channel. I have a problem with Alberta independence, and it's this. And I'm not even like, I might potentially ruffle some feathers here, but my problem with Alberta independence is I don't look at, like, if you go on X and you search Alberta independence, all the big accounts that talk about this are anonymous. And I have a little bit of an issue with that because I'm not anti-anonymous accounts. I'm not anti being anonymous on the internet. I'm totally okay with that. But I don't think it's very persuasive if you're going to be the leader of a movement. Like this person, I guess this person's kind of anonymous because they don't show their face, but I mean their name. It could be a fake name, but I'd see this person like half anonymous. I see this person commenting a lot on politics, but all these like this account, Rise of Alberta, I don't think this is very persuasive. Maybe if you can let me know in the comments if you don't agree with this, but okay, so at least this person, shout out to him, whoever this is. I've never seen this person, but I'll give this person some props for sure because they're putting it on the line. Okay, this is cool. I've not actually seen this. Good for this person. This, I think, is what you need. So maybe I'm kind of eating my own words because I was not aware of people like this. I think this could actually move some minds. Another person, here's a look at a line of Alberta. Wow, this is quite fascinating. Rachel Parker. I don't know who any of these people are, but Keith Wilson. So okay, I'm kind of eating my own words. It looks like there are real people talking about Alberta independence now. That's good. At least for the movement. At least I'm in support of this because it can put pressure on Ottawa. You know? Hopefully can show them that Alberta's actually serious and they're tired of being pushed around. If Alberta leaves, the Canadian government falls because the money stops. Yeah, it'd be very bad for... Okay, M. Raz, what is the Moose chart? What is that? I've heard of this just on his channel, but what is the Moose chart? Our cops are corrupt. The court are corrupt. Our prosecutors are corrupt. Moose on the Loose has a Carney flow map. Is that the Moose chart? Wow, yeah, Moose on the Loose is actually crushing it then. That's pretty cool. I thought he was just commentary, but it looks like he's getting a little bit more active, which is nice. I'm a big fan of Jasmine Lane. Again, I don't watch her stuff all the time, but I think she does important work. I just like that she puts herself out there, has bold takes, does interviews, stuff like that. I'll check. So do I just Google, you think, moose chart? Or is it like a YouTube channel? So I googled moose chart and it doesn't come up. Or is it on Pinterest? No. The links. Moose on the loose. Since releasing my moose chart, it's getting slammed with traffic with many who can't access it. I've created 10 mirrors. If this doesn't work, I have some other ideas. Give it a try. Okay, moosechart.com. Yeah, it's not loading. Oh, here we go. It's loading slowly. Okay. I have no idea what I'm looking at here. The moose chart. Is this a Google Doc that anyone, a Google Doc type thing that anybody can contribute to? Is that what this is? Or is it just moose on the loose? Or is it a thing where it's like a crowdsourced thing where things get removed and deleted based on like the majority of people approve of what it is? There's a Mark Carney lie tracker, Carney direct conflicts of interest, Ukraine rebuild. This is cool. It's cool transparency. I just don't know what I'm even looking at. I'd have to obviously take a deeper look into this. Liberal timeline of net zero. This is fascinating. Lots of great info. He updates it as he covers stories. Wow. Jasmine talks a lot and get to the fact 20 minutes later. So you think like she kind of talks a lot? You could. I don't actually watch her stuff all the time. I don't watch anyone all the time, kind of. I don't know why, but I mean, some people I do. Just I haven't found like a Canadian news person that I watch all the time, at least. No, just him. He breaks down facts. Carney's my friend. Take time to gather and look into. Oh, you start understanding every single thing. No, he adds to it. So this is Moose on the Loose adding to it. It looks like, yeah, no, just him. Cool. Well, good for him. This is pretty cool. This looks like one of those big crime scene boards they use. Yeah, support the channel. Moose on the Loose puts out a ton of content as well. Like I think he puts out maybe 2 videos a day, and they're pretty long. So this guy has to be one of the biggest right-wing content creators. Who do you think is the biggest right-wing content creator in Canada? Because I think there are a few people, but I would say there's like I just like checking out this stuff for fun. This guy's pretty big. I'd say this guy's probably top 5. Wyatt.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. He kind of has like a monotone voice, but I like this guy's videos. I think they're pretty good. Maybe top 5. What's that other one called? Northern Perspective. This has got to be one of the bigger ones, right? Did you guys watch this? Yeah, Sunshine Baby, but Sunshine Baby does American stuff now, I think. He does both, but he's kind of pivoted, it looks like. And again, I'll say, I won't say this all the time once I'm at 1,000, but I'd appreciate if you'd subscribe to the channel if you're in the chat. And then once I hit 1,000, you can unsubscribe. Just kidding, but I mean, you could. Like, yeah, this channel crushes it. Does anyone here watch this? Yeah, they're good too. Elevate, I agree. Elevate does good. I think Elevate's taking a nice little break. He's almost like me on my other channel. Taking a break for the... I just am, yeah, doing some other stuff, I guess. 44K, yeah, Elevate does well. 108. 89, 81. Shout out to him. What about Pleb? You guys watch Pleb? Pleb is kind of like a little bit not making videos lately, though. Yes, because he takes big breaks. Pleb is funny, though. Pleb is the funniest, I think. And it's a cool story that he was a truck driver and then just pivoted into this. I'm sure everyone has a story, right, of how they got into YouTube, but yeah, see, he did take a big break like 10 months ago. But do you guys like Pleb? Sunshine Baby sucks. I stopped following him. How come, Rob? That's interesting. No, I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna be judgmental. I don't care. He is good, but doesn't give facts like Moose. Moose, Jasmine, and Elevate. Northern 2, Moose, Mr. Sunshine Baby. He has a new baby, Dormant. Elevate pod. Oh, the Elevate guy has a baby? Cool. Sunshine Baby. Yeah, I think Sunshine Baby like does a lot of American stuff. What the heck? You didn't even show up? There we are. Yeah, see, oh, this video did very well though. One day ago, 375. Dang. This is all American. This is a pretty big pivot, I would say, to American politics. The thing is, if you cover American politics, there is a lot more to cover. It actually is easier, but you're obviously competing with a lot more people because it's a big space. But like, there is a lot of content in American politics. I'm kind of right now more interested in Canadian because I think there needs to be more content in Canada to kind of wake more people up. I think it's pretty important. And there's a lot of people in America that are constantly covering American politics. So I think it's a little less sort of important in a sense because there's just so much sunshine, pardon the pun here, on American life always. There's so many people constantly giving their take on what is happening there, which is good. I think that is I think that's a massive advantage that America has. Their culture of free speech, I think, is a huge advantage. It keeps them kind of on the right path, even if it's messy. Sunshine is a fun hangout. He covers question period. Yeah, I like that. I think I'm going to start covering question period because a lot of content. I jump everywhere. Yeah, me too. Check his live links. Are you talking about, are you talking about Sunshine here? You talking about this or? You talking about maybe this channel here? This channel's cool. I'll probably start doing this too once it's back. Because Sunshine Baby kind of has this corner of the market covered. But I think it's it'd be fun actually to cover the question period. The thing is, I hope that the conversation in question period or the House of Commons can elevate a little bit. When I used to watch it with Trudeau and Poilievre, they talked about, I'm not kidding, every time I turned it on, it seemed like they were talking about climate change. It just made me crazy. Like, it's not fun to talk about, because all my comment is going to be, this is stupid. I don't want to say that for 2 hours. So I hope they talk about more real stuff. Then who's some other people? I like this person, actually. Does anyone watch this person? It looks like they have a new podcast or something. I don't think they're the most popular, but I like Clyde Do Something. Many hands make light work. That's true. Price of food in QP. What does that mean? Price of food in QP. Question period. Question period. Price of food. Yeah, that would be great. I agree. That'd be great. Yeah, I like this guy, Clyde. And is there anyone else I'm forgetting? That's a big... I kind of just like generally getting a lay of the land here on who is doing well in Canadian politics. Jasmine. I don't want to be the whole woke person here, but it is good. I think there's also a woman. Because I think just from a perspective of hopefully winning over female voters, right? There's that connection. That's going to be my woke statement of the day. I think that is a plus. It's not just a bunch of dudes. No, I truly don't even care about that, but just from a voting perspective, I think it can win over just female potential voters. Price of food, Clyde and Marty. Yeah, Marty. But does Marty have a YouTube channel? What's his thing? Marty Up North? Oh, he does. Oh, there's another one actually I saw recently that I'll pull up. It's not really politics, but he does that podcast with him, right? Oh, I saw that.
Just wanted to take a minute. We know.
It looks like they have a new podcast. Where is it? Oh, maybe not. This is
Marty. Yep.
The Marty and Clyde show. Didn't I see a podcast? Do something pod? That not him? This might be somebody. No, it is him. What the heck? This looks like a new channel, I guess. 8K. I don't know what this is. There's this one here. Does anyone... I've seen this on X, so I guess they're not doing maybe amazing, but 262 subs. That could be from other activity, though. What? Maybe they delisted videos, or I don't know. Maybe they just honestly got... Oh, no, yeah, 6 years ago. This channel's been around for a while. Juno News. Jasmine is the boss. Yes, she's classy. Oh, yeah, Rebel. Yeah, of course, Rebel. The Liberals still say imaginary tax when the Conservatives bring up the industrial carbon tax. That's intense gaslighting. Yeah, 100%. That's so stupid. To act like the an industrial carbon tax means like nothing. It's clearly a tax. And Polyev is obviously correct on that that's going to raise the price of food. John Bolton. John Bolton. He's like that guy's American, right? Somewhat Ambassador John Bolton, or is there somebody else? Rebel. It's crazy in those around election time how sometimes reporters will be like, I don't answer, or the politicians will say, I don't answer questions from Rebel News. That's such a scummy thing to do. I don't answer questions. Like, I think, who's the leader of the Bloc? What's that guy's name? I'm drawing a blank. Yves Blanchette. Je réponds pas aux questions of Rebel News. I don't respond to questions from Rebel News. Je réponds pas. I haven't seen much trending from Rebel lately, though. Yeah, like they're like, for example, Moose on the Loose lately does a lot more views than Rebel. I wonder why that is. it kind of goes in trends, right? People kind of get hot and they get cold. But I wouldn't say Rebel is crushing it. Western Standard, good point. I don't even really... Yeah, this is Alberta. Do you see their stuff more on Twitter? Because, again, they're not crushing it on views. I know I'm kind of being a little cringe just looking at views, but shout out to them. Isn't this like a newspaper? Yeah, it's like a news website. That's cool. That was Jagmeat, YouTube. 2 to 3 videos a day from Moose. Yeah, Moose is crushing. That was ignorant. Albertan, sing. We covers. Oh, there's a person named John Bolton in Alberta? Oh, man. That's amazing. I didn't know that. Thank you. Yeah, that's cool. I've never even seen this channel. That's awesome. This guy's doing well. This is cool. 13K, 11K. This is awesome. Conservative B1, Albertan, Calgarian, Alberta independence. Yeah, it makes the thing like my point before about I felt like the Alberta independence movement was behind all these anonymous accounts. Obviously not him. So shout out to John Bolton. Crushing it. The chat knows more than me. I'm getting educated. The chat. Shout out the chat. I don't do X or Twitter, unfortunately, banned. That's funny. You could use like a burner account, right? I'm sure you're not banned. Like, I like X, but the X is it's very hard to get traction on X as a small account. We learn from each other. That's right. BlackRock Reporter, newspaper. Yeah, I think I'm going to probably go end the stream in like 10 minutes. Any video or anything, any topic that anyone would like to cover, let me know in the chat because I'm getting tired, but also I'm actually quite hungry. But let me know any, I'll take one suggestion from the chat because I think it'll be fun to just watch a video or cover some topic or whatever, whoever's first wins. Oh, we gained some subscribers during the stream. Shout out to you guys. Thank you very much. Getting the numbers up slowly but surely. Yeah, I'll cover this as my final thing. I'll just cover the Canada First protest a little. I'm gonna only cover this maybe for 5 minutes, and then I'll end stream. Because I covered this already before. But it's crazy that CBC, CTV, Global did not even haven't even talked about this yet. That's so crazy. Like, that's such a sign that they're so biased and so not representative of Canadians that they'll cover American protests, but not... See, look, like this is an Iranian protest, American protest. Like, this is so shameful. that they won't cover the protests in their own country. How do you not consider them a divisive, like, what's the point of even calling yourself news then? Just call yourself activism. See, CTV, I don't see anything on the Canada protest. That was clearly news. It was obviously a very big protest. Like, this is so, to me, so shameful. Just call yourself activism then. What are they trying to hide the public from? What's the point? They think by covering it, they'll incentivize more? Who cares? It's a protest. You're incentivizing the protests in other countries, but not in your own then? What's the logic here? Like, this really pisses me off. Look, they'll cover this one, though. Ottawa Venezuelans rally after Maduro arrest. But they won't cover the massive Canada First protest. They'll cover all the protests with foreign flags. That's just so shameful. You see any? I see nothing. But they'll cover the protests in... Yeah, this one. This is in Canada, but it's for Iran. What is the point of Canada? The people in power want Canada to just be a ransom note, a conglomerate of a bunch of other countries. Canada First, apparently, is beyond the pale. Yeah, this is very disappointing. Carney is the best PM, Money, Mooney. This is why we need non-mainstream media. Yeah, for sure. Thankfully, that's the way it's going, but it's just a matter of how quickly you can get people to convert, because, I mean, I think almost inevitably in like 15 years, the mainstream media will have very little power, even with all the government subsidies, because people are just going to be online. Like, the younger generation just is on the internet. But I mean, there'll be new challenges, I guess. Maybe they'll try to censor the internet even more. But just in the short term, how do you get people to get over, to understand how crazy biased that is? Because it's so insane. I was surprised with the turnout. Great to see. Me too, at the Canada First rally. I was too, Jacob. I was too. It was way bigger than any other of these protests that I've seen. It was like a legitimate protest. News seemed to have collapsed with the loss of classified ad revenue, which resulted from the internet. Yeah. Like for the mainstream channels, I guess you're saying? It's collapsed. But the CBC doesn't even need it. They just get taxes. And Trudeau upped their allotment in taxes too, which is insane. Canadians are fed up here. Although, I still think there's 40% of the country that's sleepwalking and just thinks elbows up is a real way to live. A real position. Stop. Yeah, this guy, actually, that's funny. This is the guy's stream, this bald dude here, who I was following. That's Travel Fun 69. I was watching his stream. I just became aware of him on the weekend, but I was following his stream throughout this entire thing. Liberals are in Canada. The music there, I'll turn that off for a second. This is a lot of people. Like, this is not a small protest. Because the other Canada First protests, I think, are pretty small, but if you include these people, the counter-protesters, and then all there was so many police officers. Look at those guns. I don't think that was all the people, too. I saw shots where it looked like there was way more people. We might have missed some at the beginning. The police presence at this event, though, was incredible. This is just a cool shot because this is a different camera angle than I followed. Another act of realization. Charlie woke up a lot. Charlie Kirk, I think you're saying? Charlie Kirk was awesome. It's so cool. It's papers, printed, classified. Yeah, dude, yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, good point. I didn't even, that's a great point. Yeah, the newspaper business got obviously throttled by the internet. Newsworthy for sure. Totally, this is a big protest. And for Canada, for a country of 40 million people, and right in the heart of Toronto with all this police presence too. Oh yeah, Travel Fun, he's great. He did great work during the Freedom Convoy. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't even know that. I didn't follow his stuff during the Freedom Convoy, but good for him. And then these police officers, these horses. I've seen in Toronto those horses on the cops and the horses. That's quite cool. And they're going to this Young Dundas Square, which is renamed to Sankofa, which is a terrible. Even Young Dundas Square is a stupid name though too. Like they're not. That's not a good name. The name should be like Toronto Square or something. But I don't know if you guys are aware of the controversy with the name Dundas in Toronto. Apparently it was some guy who was bad in the past, so they gotta change the name. Like, what the it's so soft, so stupid. Shake Shack. When I lived in Toronto, this was something else, but I forget. It might have been Pizza or something, but this was not Shake Shack. Shake Shack is so good. Has anyone here ever had Shake Shack? This is like that literally is making me starving now. I'm hungry. I live close to a burger place that's kind of tastes similar to Shake Shack, but I don't think it's open right now. But Shake Shack is incredible. Incredible burgers and fries. They had one in Bangkok. I was having it recently. Erase our history, yeah, for sure. Upside down American flag. I guess that guy's anti-Trump, I would guess. These look like the counter-protesters, perhaps. Pretty cool. This is mostly this guy just kind of cruising around, I think. They might change Dundas, but they won't dare touch Church Street. If you know Toronto, you know why. Because that's the gay area. But do you mean like they won't change the name Church Street? Or yeah. That gay area of Toronto is big. When I first moved there, I was walking through all the neighborhoods. It's like a huge area of like the gay village, or right? I think that's what it's called, right? University should be called Protest Street. Move all the hospitals. Yeah. Yeah, University Street is a pretty cool street. Toronto's a cool city. When I was there, Toronto feels very left-wing. When you're downtown Toronto, it has a leftist feel to the city, in my opinion, for sure. But it's a cool city. But it's expensive, and it was probably better 10 years ago. Like it kind of feels like a little bit of a... People don't really talk to each other in Toronto. That's what it feels like to me. I've been to other big cities where there's way more discussion between people. Toronto feels like a whole bunch of people just sort of living their lives, not interacting with each other. So for that reason, I feel like it feels kind of like a cold place, but it is cool. I would never go there. Too many protests. You could go there. There's not it's just on the weekend there sometimes is. And even when there is one, it's very easy to avoid the protests in Toronto. You'll see them, but they're not, honestly, you could go there and you'd never be really bothered by them. Like, the downtown Toronto area is big. Very, there's a whole bunch of neighborhoods. The downtown Toronto. There could be a protest in one area and you'd be totally, you wouldn't even hear it in a different area. Anything, hands off. They had, or a statue of a man on his knees inspecting the member of a guy standing, supposed to be anti-great monument based on history. They had or have a statue of a man on his knee. Really? There's a statue of like a guy. Really? Is that in the gay village area? They have a... That's wild. That would not surprise me though. Toronto is crazy. Cell phones. Is it still there? I tried to look it up. I mean, this came up. I don't think this is weird. I don't know. I believe you though, for sure. It's gone. Anyway, okay, I'm going to finish the stream. Maybe I'll go live later, but thank you everybody for watching. Like and subscribe. Have a great day. Have a great day. Just said that, but I'll say it.